The spring 2022 anime season is coming to a close, with many a surprise, both welcome and unwelcome. Shield Hero Season 2 proved that The Promised Neverland wasn't the only show that could completely destroy the legacy built by a great first season with a gut-wrenchingly miserable second season. But on the other hand, Kaguya-sama's third season rightfully took the throne at the #1 spot on my anime list. Until the Fullmetal Alchemist Resistance Force have their say, that is, proving that no incredible anime stands a chance against a good review bombing. And the highly anticipated Spy Family, yes, it is pronounced Spy Family, just how Hunter x Hunter is pronounced, well, Hunter x Hunter. And the highly anticipated Spy Family reigns as not only one of the most highly rated anime of the season, but its most popular as well. It's likely that not a single viewer here has not seen the show yet, or at least felt the reverberations of its effects rippling across social media. The numerous positive parts that were produced out of the show's mass popularity, incredible cosplays, fan arts and such, seem to all be cursed by the law of equivalent exchange, as society's deviants emerged from the descents of their delinquency to clamp their claws upon poor Anya, the young girl and focus of much misconduct at the hand of the community, as was unfortunately expected, to be fair. And if you have not yet witnessed any of this, frankly, what are you doing? I mean this not to be demeaning nor interrogative, but more so a genuine question on how you've managed to evade one of the past couple years' most popular shows. Yet, I suppose if you've stumbled upon this humble video, then you can no longer make that claim, as today I will dive into not only the origins of Spy Family, but how it's managed to grasp the love and admiration of so many souls within the anime and manga community in such a short time. Come along with me, and if you haven't, just watch Spy Family already. Tatsuya Endo, the creator of Spy Family's manga, began his journey as an assistant for other rather reputable Shonen Jump manga, Blue Exorcist and Tatsuki Fujimoto's Fire Punch. Building on this strong foundation and his tutelage under quite successful artists, upon undertaking his own career as a mangaka, his initial one-shots formed a surprisingly extensive collection of more mature stories that stand in stark contrast to the comedic backdrop of his latest breakout work. Despite seeming polar opposites in tone and topic alike, after digging a little deeper, his last 3 one-shots before beginning Spy Family, most notably, contain clear inspiration actually for the series. Anya's character design quite clearly originated in the main character of Rengoku no Ashe, written to be a witch with pink hair and horn-shaped ornaments adorning her head. Likewise, Endo claims that Ishi ni Usubeni Tetsu ni Hoshi was the first work to inspire him to draw a small child's character, which was very far out of his comfort zone as a primarily seinen and dark mangaka, making him attribute this work specifically to the reason he was even able to write a young character like Anya in the first place later on. His last work before Spy Family, I Spy, is... I'm sure you can tell the similarities here. Upon the suggestion of his editor, after combining the best parts of these 3 one-shots and imbuing them with the comedic basis that was missing from all of his previous works, something that the editor believed could really turn around the popularity of his writing, Endo created Spy Family, a series whose initial reception among the editorial department was supposedly so good that its serialization was practically decided before any proposals or meetings were even extended. An auspicious foreboding for what was to come. Since debuting in 2019, Spy Family has risen to critical acclaim and cemented its place in Shonen Jump's top 10 best-selling manga in both years since. And it's safe to say that Wit Studio and Cloverworks' adaptation of its anime is following in the footsteps of that giant. But now that I've finished that chapter of the lore, it raises the question of just what exactly elevates it to that level. Looking once again at the best-selling Shonen Jump manga of last year, Spy Family is almost nothing alike its high-rolling compatriots. Shonen Jump has been experiencing a transition into darker series for the past couple years, illustrated by the frontrunner of the pack, Jujutsu Kaisen, and the rising popularity of the work of his former mentor, Tatsuki Fujimoto's huge cult hit, Chainsaw Man. Spy Family, a romantic, charming, and endearing comedy, stands alone as a black sheep. But perhaps that's exactly why it's so great. Spy Family revolves around a spy named Twilight, who must infiltrate into a foreign country, find a prominent yet secretive politician, and gather intelligence on him in order to maintain the safety of the entire world. However, the only public outings this politician attends to are at his son's school, exclusive to society's elite, forcing Twilight to enlist the help of a young girl, Anya, and woman, Yor, to act as his pretend daughter and wife in order to invade the politician's close circle through this school and complete his very dire mission. However, unbeknownst to Twilight, the seemingly tame civil servant Yor moonlights as an underground assassin known as the Thorn Princess, and the strangely perceptive Anya happens to be an Esper who can read minds. And this three-pronged dynamic is the source of the humor throughout Spy Family, as Twilight, Yor, and Anya hide their identities from each other. However, Anya actually knows from the start exactly what everyone is hiding by, well, reading their minds. Because of this, Anya is arguably the most fundamental factor that Spy Family's plot, story, and comedy hinges upon, restating the importance of the character that Tatsuya Endo has been crafting throughout his works, purposefully or not, over the span of almost the last decade of his career. Us viewers experience this family vicariously through Anya, as she is aware of other characters' thoughts, plans, things that normally only we would have access to, forming the dramatic irony of the story. She shares those feelings with us, except through the special lens of a child. More so than being jokingly manipulative, it is actually endearing to watch her take advantage of her father's need to complete his mission and obligation to do anything for her to make sure she does well in school. In moments of fear, her cries to her mom come across not as genuine panic for the viewer, but rather joy in seeing her dependence on her mother who can and will annihilate anyone. The very serious jobs of spy and assassin are twisted into the perspective of a 6-year-old child. We get to enjoy what Anya sees as a childlike fantasy, rather than the objectively strange and quite precarious situation that it really is. But interspersed among these moments of hilarity shine moments of real insight into the heart of family as well. Though Twilight, Yor, and Anya are created to be very different characters, defined by their rather extreme traits or occupations, they share one main similarity: that they are alone. Twilight lives a life of deception and impermanence, moving from mission to mission and reminding himself to remain detached always. Yor, though she has a brother, is forced to live a life of secrecy and crime for the sake of both their well-being and to maintain the facade on the outside, so as to not be suspected for her double life. And Anya, a child out of a decrepit orphanage and result of human experimentation, has never had a real family. Underneath this surface, the comedy masks the story of 3 lost souls finding solace in one another. What initially begins as a strictly professional agreement slowly develops into a heartwarming realization of the comfort that genuine relationships can have for any of us. So whether you're watching Spy Family for this, or the humor, or the occasional action, it's a great show, regardless. As always, this has been the Anime Culture Corner. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future in-depth show, manga, and character analyses.